Hello, hello, hello. This your boy Just Ed, and good morning, good day, um, grand rising, as some say. I hope the week has been well for you. I hope that you are at ease, at peace, that you are learning to trust God, and that you are learning to wait on Him. On this end, for me, He continues to show up, and day by day is the process as I step into the reality of me, and all my brokenness and all my flaws and all of the mess that I often willingly engage in, or that I engage in more often than I would like to. God still loves me, man. I really want you to know, and whoever this is for, please understand it does not matter where you come from, what you've done, what you're living through right now, what you're engaging in right now, the things that are causing a sense of separation right now. You can be rerouted. He will scoop way down and pick you up and get you where you're supposed to be. And I tell you a truth when I say, man, if you get into that word, literally the only person in there that was perfect was Christ. And we've got a lot of unlearning to do because we have been led astray. We've been overstimulated. We've been misled. We have been deceived. And we have been set to the side in a lot of ways. I just think that it's time for you to do your own research, do your own digging, and do it with the intention and the goal of learning who God is. What does God say about me? What does God desire for me? What does God want to do with my life? Is it religion or relationship? Get into it, because there's a thing that really, really, really is important in this moment, and it's an authenticity that God is looking for. And the sooner you discover that, the better off ultimately you will be. And understand the journey is, it's beautiful, but in the midst of that beauty, again, I've stated before, there's going to be pressure, it's going to be fire, it's going to be darkness, it's going to be loneliness, there's going to be isolation. But all of these things work together for your good to build something in you that is incredibly, incredibly undeniable. And please learn to allow that process to happen. I personally do believe in asking God for help directly, because we have been granted access to the throne of grace. We can approach Him boldly through Christ. He knew who we was, and He is not having a nervous breakdown about who we are in the moments that we live through as we operate from our broken places, from the sin principle that lives within our flesh. So I want to encourage you to keep on going. Please don't beat yourself up. There's definitely no guilt nor shame to those who are in Christ. And I know the word definitely says, let him that is set free go and sin no more. And that is a journey to sinning no more. And it starts with our thoughts. It starts in our hearts. And so it's like, what are we putting in us? And that is very important. And am I always putting things into myself that are for my betterment? No. But it's a lot less than what it used to be. And I'm working towards just completely cutting it off, man. It's a battle. One day I will sit down on here and read Romans chapter 7. But until I read Romans chapter 7, I ask that you seek God on it, and then ask Him to help you to understand it, and then read it for yourself. Get that in you, and have that conversation. Consider those things, right? But I'm going to read to you a poem. The poem is titled The Ire of Religion. And it starts off, in the short of it, deception prevents recognition. Madness is a cup that lives over there. And them damn Christians. Anywho, life is pleasant over here. The Ire of Religion. I stand in ache at the atrocity of the world, and not because of its behavior, but because of how it's infiltrated the institution of religion. It's the deception for me, the lies, the trickery, the actual audacity to, in willing ignorance, capture the hearts and minds of people under the guise of help when all it's ever truly done was harm. The pushes of religion cleverly and oftentimes blindly led astray people who truly sought to grow and learn and become better, only to be observed as self-seeking, self-righteous, and self-deprecating under a false humility that satiated the need to feel. And then in all of this, people like me were left behind in dust, confusion, and alarming levels of guilt. Now, it benefits me not to point fingers and shift blame for my fucked up decisions, but perhaps had I been given pure examples, I'd have known early on the actual destination of my faith. But alas, here I am, sitting low in moments of remorse about things that seem beyond the scope of my comprehension. I share grief at the life that has been and the lack of truth unstood upon as I consider myself. It truly causes sorrow at the lack of core concerning consistency, the avoidance of conviction, the harboring of correction, and a delusion of purity juxtaposed to the pleasuring of the senses. Who amongst us desires actual change, to stand against what is common, to refuse to bend in the face of adversity as it relates to faith, and then what is? I am pained because just as sure as I fall short daily, those in positions of authority seem comfortable in their space of Christendom, which now appears to desensitize and lower the standards day by day. So many thoughts run through my mind as I take a look at the man before me, and he can only hope that he is heading in the right direction. Poem. And that again was The Ire of Religion. And again, art is definitely subjective. I started asking questions when I began to understand that what was presented to me was not presented in its fullness, and it wasn't presented in love. It was presented in condemnation. It was presented in judgment. It was ultimately presented in disrespect. And the controlling nature of man has long ago superseded the reason behind the establishing of Christianity. Let it be clear, and please, anyone, show me in the Bible where Jesus specifically stated you have to be Christian to worship God. Never said that. What he did say was, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man can come to the Father except through me. That's what he said. And the word describes and shares with us that he came once to die in our places, to once and for all shed his blood for the sins of all men for all time. That means he's literally given every human that ever passed through this earth opportunity and occasion to see God, to be able to be connected with him. And he said, all those who turned to me, who called on me, who believed on his name, he would never turn away. So when you are set aside, you are set aside eternity. Now, the journey in life, because I think again, religion has clouded judgment. It has clouded expectation. It has clouded reality on what life should look like and the way life should flow. I have found it's usually the total opposite. One thing, though, that I know for sure is that you are granted peace, you are granted joy, you are given favor, and then every day his grace and his mercy are made new. And I am understanding that where sin abounds, grace abounds all the more. It's the thing that allows you to keep on going, and that the sting of sin is not held against you because you've been set free from that. And it is a daily process to die to oneself. That's a process. That is a process. I truly hope that you will be patient with yourself, that you will give yourself grace, that you will forgive yourself, and that you will, if you will, in a sense, relax. Because I know I have been carrying around so much weight because of the way life happened and then my response to it. Give yourself a break. You could breathe, you could relax. Know that you are loved. There's literally nothing that you can do that can separate you from the love of God. And if you've received Christ, you are well on your way. Again, just every day I fall. I stumble somehow. I run with the thought. I allow that thought to lead to an action. And, but I get up. I don't stay there. And it's by the grace of God alone that I can get up and I can move on. I can go on. I can become great. I can and great in that being a tool used by God to present to the world. There's so much stuff out here, man. There's so much stuff out here, and honestly, it's overwhelming at times, and it's frustrating most others, listening to people out here who you would like to think that when it comes to speaking on the word, that they mean well, but then you sit down and you listen to it, and for me, it's again, the sensationalism of it all is wild, because there are so many things that people choose to focus on, and I'm not saying things don't have their place. But talk about the love of Christ. Talk about his redemptive power. Talk about his generosity. Talk about the forgiveness that has been made available. Talk about how he is out here restoring lives, and he is setting people up to step into the rest of their life. Talk about the fact that, sometimes we think we hear from God, but that was us. And it was a mistake, so I'm trusting God. Again, it's not easy. It's not easy, but he never said it was supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? What he did say was that he would be there for us and he would remain with us. And so I'm just looking forward to moving forward with the rest of my life, the rest of my days, and I am going to trust him. And I am going to just continue to allow him to do the thing that only he can do, the thing that he desires to do. And I know that it's going to be well. So I love you all. I'm going to get up out of here. I hope the day is amazing. I hope your weekend is safe. And Lord willing, I'll be able to check in with you Sunday. But be great at it, and let God work on you. Let God use you, and allow God to just make it right for you. God is truly incredible. He is amazing, and he desires that we win. He desires that we thrive, and he set us up to where, for me, I am now much further along than when I first began. And when I fall off and I'm able to be restored and I get back up, I pick back up where I left off. You don't never go back to the beginning. You just continue on from where you left off at. So have an amazing day. And that poem again was called The Ire of Religion. Thank you all for tuning in and for checking in with me into this community where it is a safe space. It's honesty here. It's integrity. It's character. And we do music. We have discussions and poetry. And hopefully as this channel continues to grow, I'll be able to interact with people. But meanwhile, please feel free to jump in the comments and share with me your thoughts, and remember to like, subscribe, and also share with other people. Let's make an awareness of it. Let's just bring some views. You know what I'm saying? Let's get this community built up. And I hope you all have an amazing day. Be well at it, and I will talk with you all soon. Bye.